Hey, what is up everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Ethereum, which is actually not performing too bad in comparison to Bitcoin. We're going to go through a lot of data in this video, talking exactly why I think Ethereum will be outperforming Bitcoin very soon. But let's quickly take a look and compare the two. So Bitcoin obviously saw a dump this week, down from like 100,000 and something dollars down to 96. ETH similarly, but it dumped a lot more. So ETH went from like 3,400 all the way down to 2,600. We obviously saw a huge wick down to 2.1k. Now this was caused by many things, including DeepSeek and also including the tariffs and then Gaza. So lots of different things causing this dump, mostly political issues rather than actual crypto related news events. But regardless, the entire market saw that dump. And now we're in the weekend where there probably won't be any major news released regarding the stock market or crypto. So yeah, all eyes are going to be on Monday, but we did see a lot of catalysts as well this week that was sort of overshadowed. So let's take a look at them. So on the screen right now I have the Ethereum ETF net inflow and outflow chart. So here on the right you can see how much money is being invested into Ethereum by institutional investors. Now what this means is large, high net worth individuals that work with BlackRock, for example, that invest their money with BlackRock. They don't buy Ethereum or Bitcoin for exchanges and actually holding the coins. What they do is instead they buy the ETF, which then buys Ethereum or Bitcoin depending on the ETF, and then it sort of works as a correlation. So when Ethereum goes up, the ETF will also go up. Now that's how the institutions do it. And yeah, I mean, you can see on the chart just how much institutional investors have been buying Ethereum. So really leading up until the end of 2024 in November, we had a net outflow on Ethereum, the ETF, and you can see whilst that outflow was happening, Ethereum was down quite bad. It was down to under 2.5k, and then we actually started to get a major inflow of purchases for the ETF. So you can see right here on the 11th of the 11th we saw a huge spike, an inflow of 93 nearly 1,000 Ethereum was purchased, then slight outflows, but that caused a huge spike in the price. We went from $2,895 to $3,400 nearly dollars, then slight dump off, and after that the inflows kept on coming in. We had 93,000 bought, we had 112,000 bought, and these just kept coming in. Then it obviously slowed down as we hit these major highs as expected, but now that we've actually crossed back down below $3,000, we had just 4 days ago a major inflow of 107,000 ETH, which is huge. And if we compare that to the Bitcoin ETF inflow and outflow, Bitcoin is a lot more stable. So institutions obviously will pick Bitcoin just for the long run. But if we compare the two charts, you can see the sort of difference that is now happening. So where Bitcoin is mostly stable, usually has a net inflow, and that is usually how much? 700 million, a few hundred million worth being invested. Here we had a major outflow, and then sort of 2-3 months ago that all changed, and now we're getting a major pump in inflow, sort of like people or the institutions are preparing for an alt season, which is interesting to see. So if we see an outflow occur now, which I don't think we will see on Bitcoin. Usually these institutions don't trade too much, so they won't be buying and selling one or the other. They usually just like to buy and hold both for the long run. These institutions won't be day trading these ETFs. So yeah, we should still see an inflow occur, but I mean, if you take a line and sort of draw how the BTC ETF has been performing from November, it's been going down. These inflows have been going down. It's sort of like a triangle, whereas ETH is trending up mostly. So yeah, that's an interesting thing to look at. Now if we go back to the chart, we will see that ETH is actually approaching a decent support level. We did break through a major one here at 2,850 to 3,000. However, now it's just providing a better opportunity to DTA in at. So this level right here is going to be our next major support, which we should fall to. Like we're in this sort of no man's land right now, where it can go either up or down. It's not really set on any sort of direction. However, we are trending down, so the probability of us hitting the support is much higher than us actually heading back up and hitting $3,000 again. So what I'm personally going to be looking to do is accumulate at these key levels. So this is going to be the first key level at roughly 2.5. The second level is going to be here at sort of the midway point of this support at roughly 2.35, and then the third is going to be slightly lower where we wicked at 2.1k. Now obviously I don't think we'll probably drop to this level, but again, it's good to have these average entries set just in case we do see a wick similar to that, then our entry will get hit. And you know where I'm going to be holding to, definitely at least 4.1k here at the previous high that we had. Again, I think these institutions aren't stupid. Even if they're holding for multiple years, we can do the same, and we're going to be getting sort of better entries than them. You know, they've been accumulating at 2.8k most recently. Yeah, 2.8k is looking like their major accumulation. They've also accumulated at 3.8k, so they don't get the best average entries, which means they usually will hold for a longer time until they're in major profits. So we can just hold. If we get this entry here at 2.6 and maybe even, you know, 2.2, 2.1k, and we just hold to the next high at 4.1, or even, you know, from the quite recent entry at 3.8, that's already 65% profit with leverage. That could be 1.2k profit with 20x leverage. If we hold to the all-time high, that's like 110%. If we hold a lot higher and start targeting price discovery areas, then we're looking at like 215%, even 11.3k, which is a bit absurd to look at, but that's, you know, nearly a 5x at 400% profit. So really good areas there. And again, another thing we need to compare is Bitcoin dominance. So I'll use the percent chart for now, just as sort of a comparison, but I see a lot of people comparing us to this sort of stage that we're in, where it's sort of like if we compare to 2018 all the way to 21, we have this massive uptrend, and then we see a slight dump like this, which I guess people are comparing to this, and then we see one final run up like this, which is obviously happening right now, before the major dump, and this is when alt season is happening during this major dump. But that's what a lot of people are comparing this current cycle to. Again, I think it all depends on the major catalysts that are coming out. So if next week's candle is going to be red, which it probably will be, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive green candles. We've had this many consecutive candles, which is not as large as these. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 consecutive green candles. But if we compare the actual, you know, percentage, it was 11% there, and from here it's been much larger. We had 13% from, you know, 4 or 5 candles. So next candle will most likely be a red candle. It depends if it will flush out or not. So what a flush candle would look like is something like these. They're flush candles, these are flush candles. It's essentially a candle with a massive body. We don't want large wicks, we want massive bodies on these candles. Now a wick here is actually quite good for us. It shows that it's slowing down severely, which means sellers are stepping in, and if we're able to see a flush, then it means a lot of sellers have stepped in and now they're controlling the market. And if you don't know, then when BTCD drops, also altcoins rally. So it's sort of an inverted comparison chart that we have. So as long as that happens, I think ETH will be okay. Again, even on the weekly chart here, you know, I'd even dollar cost average in at the current market price and just hold through the sort of drawdown that we get if we do go to 2.4k. So I think it's an overall good buy, especially if you want to trade similarly to the institutions and how their investors are trading, or at least investing their money. I definitely look at, you know, sort of copying them and following them. And all this information is also public, so you can always just sort of check, you know, when they're outflowing the money. It's updated like every single day. So yeah, you see them, you know, flowing out their money, then you can also just sell, and it's not too delayed with the price as well. So here, for example, when they sold, the next day price did dump, but you know, by a few $100s, so you'd be risking out on a few $100s. But now they've been accumulating at much higher levels, so we're actually able to get in at a better price than them currently, which I think is already a good start. And then we can just wait to sell even at their entry prices, and then we'll have already profited. So yeah, that's what I'll definitely be trying to do. Bitcoin, again, it's just sort of consolidating right now. I think it definitely has the potential to go higher. Targeting 114 is the main area. We talked about it having to close above 102,000, somewhere around here on the weekly chart. That's just as a sort of confirmation that we can go to 114. It's not really a target, it's just more of a confirmation. The target has always been 114, and once we close above this, we will look for obviously a close above the 2.618 level on the fib, and then we can look to head to 140, which I think will be nearly the top of the run. So yeah, that's what we're going to be looking for. ETH again should be outperforming Bitcoin in the latter part of the bull run. We usually get a flippening season where it looks like ETH can actually flip Bitcoin's market cap. We got it in 21, 18 as well, I believe. So yeah, that's what we have to wait and watch out for. It's like when Bitcoin goes up 2-3%, ETH goes up 4, 6, 7, 10%, and that happens consecutively a day over day. So that's what we're going to be watching for. And yeah, if you did enjoy the video, please do make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to be getting trades sent to you every single day by our team, then check out the Discord down below. We've been crushing it in there day in and day out. Need a place to buy, sell, or trade cryptocurrency for the lowest fees with the best sign-up rewards, then check out all the exchanges that we have partnered up with in the description as well. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.